Emily does such a wonderful job.
Nancy, I think it kind of got pushed out on that kitchen up there.
I think you're right.
But I think that,
I know, but for it to be an industrial kitchen, I didn't realize we had to go through blah, 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 blah. And then somebody had to be there 24/7. Those trucks were.
we've had other people, we used the other stuff. I don't think they did it. I told the commission and
Good evening. Let's pray together. Lord, I thank you for tonight. I thank you for everybody here. I thank you for the decisions that will be made. Father, I thank you for a great several months in Bradley County Schools, for the awards that have been won from Lake Forest Show Choir to the athletic teams and how they're performing so well even now. God, I pray you continue to bless this school system. God, I pray that every decision that is made here and discussed tonight would be a decision for the benefit of our students and no other reason. Father, I thank you for everybody that makes these decisions behind the scenes to help our students in all these schools. And I pray you help us to have a safe spring break. And as we finish out this school year, may these students excel, have a great time, be safe, make wise decisions, and continue to bless our efforts, Lord. We love you, we praise you, and we pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 Thank you, Mr. Ward.
It's good to have you.
I call to order and welcome you to the Bradley County Board of Education meeting for March the 7th, 2024. I would like to recognize Cindy Slater with the County Commission and Denny Collins with the County Commission and Bradley County Schools. So thank you for attending. We appreciate you being here. And Ms. Goins, would you lead us in the pledge?
Absolutely. Salute, pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our first item is the consent agenda. Does anyone have items to pull from the consent agenda?
I just want to ask, the field trips that's out of state, where are they?
Mr. Price and I would have to pull those up.
Because I didn't know
It's like Murfreesboro, New Orleans,
that. Out of state?
Williamstown, Washington, Cartersville, and Birmingham.
Okay.
Do you want any of those pulled?
Nope.
Okay. All right, if not, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
A motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Miranda, will you please call the roll?
Yes. Ted Bryson,
Yes.
Rachel Goins,
Yes.
Nancy Payson,
Yes.
Josh Taylor,
Yes.
Vicky Beatty,
Yes.
Dr. Lovingood,
Yes.
6 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
The next item, persons requesting to address the board on agenda items. Do we have anyone, Ms. Redford?
No, ma'am.
Okay. The next item, Director of Schools report, Dr. Linda Cash.
Thank you. I'm going to start by just saying that we are very fortunate to have the Bradley Central Bearettes playing at the state. They play again tomorrow. They looked great yesterday, so we cheering them on and wish them the best. We also have a show choir event that Ms. Beatty will address shortly. But I just wanted to know there are a lot of really great things happening in Bradley County, so we appreciate everybody being here. If you will notice, board, on April the 8th, 2024, there is a solar eclipse that's coming through that will, we will be in the 90% pathway. And so for your note and for our parents, for safety concerns, we will be on an abbreviated day on Monday, April the 8th. Elementary schools will dismiss at 11 a.m. and secondary schools will dismiss at 11:30. It is precautionary and measured and aims to prioritize the safety of our schooling community while still allowing students to experience the astronomical event in protected environment. We know that the partial eclipse is scheduled to commence during the school day at 1:46 Eastern Standard in Cleveland, and then at 3:05, concluding with the sun fully visible again at 4:21. So again, approximately 90% of the sun will be obscured. It is for safety reasons and communication with our local weather people, and telling us that there is a real risk with looking directly at that. So this is getting our students home safely, and so we do wanted to notify everyone that that is an additional date that was not on our calendar. Monday, April the 8th will be an abbreviated day, elementary at 11 and middle and high school at 11:30. Are there any questions with that? I honestly was not aware we were in the year to have a solar eclipse, so I was appreciative of Allison Pryor making us aware of that. Secondly, we have the ATS bridge and the school systems are working together, and I wanted to give you an update on where we are. So if you could look at your screens, and I think we have to turn that one to the board. So just an overview for everybody is that it is Escape the Vape is our focus, and we have a full campaign to reach students, parents, staff, and community. It is a full-on awareness. We are joining forces with Cleveland City Schools and community partners. Just noted on the right side, the method, we are doing presentations with PTO leadership, coaches and healthy school team leaders, elementary and secondary schools, and in March we will focus on social workers and social worker counselors and social workers. I also want you to note that we've already met with our PTOs, we've already met with our coaches and healthy teams, and our elementary and secondary schools will be ongoing. And then in April, we plan to have a student and community rally. So wanted you guys to know that is a big push. It is a huge campaign. In March, you should see these billboards and social media campaign, and I just want you to look at those. It is real in our communities and in other communities, and the vaping is really harming our students, and it is very widely accepted of it's okay, but it's really not okay. So you can see those boards will be up in March and will be out and around the community. Do you have any questions about those events? It is a very positive thing that we're doing in this community to really bring an awareness, and we have talked a little bit about that April would be a big event similar to Fellowship of Christian Athletes when we do those big events, so we are excited about everybody working together with that. And with that, that is all I have at this time.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Our next item, social media litigation, Attorney Scott Bennett.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, Dr. Cash, members of the board. You have before you a proposed agreement between the Bradley County Board of Education and a group called the Friends Law Group. It is a national organization that has been organizing a campaign against some of the larger social media outlets designed to address some of the targeting, frankly, of students in schools. The theory behind this litigation is that some of the social media giants, TikTok and others, have been targeting our students with specific marketing campaigns in an effort to increase their revenue, but without any kind of safeguards in place to prevent kids from publicizing some things that are quite frankly very disruptive in our school environment. And if it were just the school environment, we could think about how we could maybe try to address those behaviors there. But as y'all are very well aware, kids take their phones wherever they go. And so it's not simply a matter of these outlets targeting our kids during the school day. It continues after school. It continues in the wee hours of the night. It starts again first thing in the morning. And the theory behind this litigation is that it would be very easy for these social media outlets to put certain safeguards in place, certain rails in place to protect our kids from what they're being exposed to. But they've chosen not to do that because that would eat into their profits. And so this particular group and a couple of other groups, but this group in particular, has been taking the lead, and they have been soliciting school boards around the country, but more recently here in Tennessee, to join them in this effort to hold these groups accountable. And the intent here for us, the Bradley County Board of Education, is simply to sign on board so that we can lend our name and our statistics in support of this litigation. I can't guarantee you that there's going to be any great monetary recovery. If there is, then obviously that would come into the coffers of the Bradley County school system. The Franz Law Group proposes that if there is any kind of monetary recovery, that they would take 25% of that as their contingency fee. They have, as you see in the agreement, they propose to split that with our firm and also with Lewis Thomason, because they anticipate that we will be doing a lot of the legwork to get some of your data to them so that the burden is off Dr. Cash and her team. But the intention here basically is to add our voice to a list of other voices around the state and around the country to try to address these ongoing concerns. If there are any costs associated with this, any kind of court costs and whatnot, those will be borne out of any kind of recovery up to 2%. So there's no cost for the board out of pocket. If there's a recovery, then up to 2% of the cost might come out of that recovery. But basically, whatever recovery there is, y'all would stand to get what's that math? 73% of it. So there you go. Any questions? Any comments? Any concerns about this that I can address? I know we've discussed this before, and I think some of y'all are aware that your partners in the Cleveland City system have already explored this.
We had already discussed before, but again, just reiterate, this is of no cost to us.
That's right. That's right.
Madam-
Any costs would be borne out of any recovery. If there's no recovery, there's no cost.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
may I?
Sure.
I do want to say, and the board is very aware of this, that the social media posting and things is very much targeting our students and causing concern within our schools, but also outside of our schools. So I encourage the board to recognize that this is about the safety of our students. It is not about a monetary value. It is about the safety of our students. So we appreciate you bringing this to our attention.
Certainly. And I think that the real gain here, it's not monetary recovery, it's putting some guardrails in place. I think the board's aware that a couple of years ago, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that school officials have very little control over things that students say outside of school, even when their speech is targeting the school environment. There's that somewhat famous cheerleader case, very disruptive. It was clearly about school. It was vulgar, it was inappropriate, but it's protected speech. The reason that was infectious in that particular school environment is because of the algorithms at play. It allows one person saying something to filter into someone else's feed and someone else. Here's your for instance. I guarantee you, if y'all go home and you talk to your spouses about maybe taking a vacation in the Florida Panhandle tonight, tomorrow morning, coincidentally enough, you're going to have these wonderful ads on your phone telling you about some great places to go and get some fresh seafood in the Florida Panhandle. Is that a coincidence? No, of course it's not a coincidence. It's all about the algorithms. And so the theory behind this litigation is that these social media outlets, which are extremely helpful, there's no question, they are deliberately targeting some antisocial behaviors amongst our kids because that's what sells clicks.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Dr. Lovington?
I do. I think it would behoove us to be a part of this because I think the school systems have a responsibility of dealing with culture. And culture is, in Bradley County, Cleveland, Tennessee, is a great culture because of our school system. If we're not careful, the impact of social media in a negative way would change our culture. And at some point in time, somebody's got to have a voice to have, so we can have guardrails, if you will, to protect our culture. If not, in my opinion, and we have had discussion about this on the board, is this, in my opinion, it will affect not only the school system, but our community as a whole. And so I think we should be on the forefront of this accountability process.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, do I have a motion for the Bradley County School Board to join the social media litigation described by Scott Bennett?
I make a motion, we join the association.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
Thank you.
Miranda, will you call the roll?
Yes. Dr. Lovinggood,
Yes.
Vicky Beatty,
Yes.
Josh Taylor,
Yes.
Nancy Kaysen,
Yes.
Rachel Goins,
Yes.
Ted Bryson,
Yes.
6 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Our next item, Capital Outlay Committee appointment. It is typically the chairman and the vice chairman, so I would like to appoint Ted Bryson to the Capital Outlay Committee. Mr. Bryson, are you accepting that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. The next item of business will be budget amendments and Susan Wilcutt. And I would like to do this a little differently maybe than what we typically do. If we could talk about each amendment and then vote, because there are several of them and you may have some questions, although I think that we have discussed most of these before. But we'll start with Amendment 26.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. So Amendment 26 is actually one of the things that was discussed at the board retreat. And this is basically taking money that the board placed in a reserve basically before the end of the year last year that we would like to pull out and move it over to Fund 177 to use for capital projects. These in particular would be the CDC classroom suite at OMS and the special ed suite. And that's the $3,125,272.63.
Okay, do I have a motion to transfer funds to 177 for Ocoee Middle School CDC classrooms and special education
I'll make
suite?
a motion.
Okay, I have a motion, Dr. Lovingood, a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Bryson. Any discussion or questions for Ms. Wilcutt? Okay, would you call the roll?
Yes. Vicky Beatty,
Yes.
Nancy Kaysen,
Yes.
Josh Taylor,
Yes.
Ted Bryson,
Yes.
Rachel Goins,
Yes.
Dr. Jeff Lovinggood,
Yes.
6 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Amendment 27.
Yes, ma'am. So Amendment 27 was money that was also left in a reserve at the end of the year, but it was actually for capital outlay that had been earmarked for a fence at Bradley Central High School. So that has been completed, and now we just need to amend that back in so that we can pay it, okay? So you've already approved it, it's just reserve that has to be brought back out.
Okay, do I have a motion to transfer funds within the general purpose school budget for Bradley Central High School fence?
Make a motion.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a
Sorry,
second?
Rachel.
A second. Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion, questions?
Oh, sure.
Would you call the roll?
Yes, Nancy Kaysen,
Yes.
Josh Taylor,
Yes.
Ted Bryson,
Yes.
Rachel Goins,
Yes.
Dr. Jeff Lovinggood,
Yes.
Vicky Beatty,
Yes.
6 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Okay, Amendment 28.
Okay. Amendment 28. Actually, this funding is coming from a couple of different places, so you can see at the top that this is money, the $830,391.35 is money that we are pulling out of fund balance that was in the reserve at the end of the year. We are also taking additional TISA revenue that came in this year, and that's where you get the $1.3 million to make up the total of $2,150,157.11. That again is going into 177, and that will be earmarked or cost-centered for the Bradley Central High School Science Wing.
Okay, do I have a motion to transfer funds to 177 for BCHS Science Wing?
I make a motion.
Dr. Lovington makes a motion, a second.
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Taylor seconds the motion. Any discussions?
This money is, I'm sorry, Madam Chair.
No,
if I
go
may.
ahead.
And this money that we're moving over to the 177, this will be to help with the architect, furthering architect fees. What, can you explain maybe a little more exactly what this is going for?
Yes, well, a lot of the architect fees, like on the science wing, we paid some of those, but it would include the balance on those. But it would also include construction costs.
Okay.
So because we're ready to move forward, we thought it would be better to get these reserve monies off 141's books and put them in 177, where it is clearly a capital project that we're starting.
Good. I knew we had talked about that, just so everybody else knows, because I'm excited about it.
It's nice to get started.
It is.
Okay, I think that we need to call the roll, don't we?
Yes. Josh Taylor,
Yes.
Ted Bryson,
Yes.
Dr. Jeff Lovingood,
Yes.
Nancy Kaysen,
Yes.
Vicky Beatty,
Yes.
Rachel Goins.
Yes.
6 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Amendment 29.
Okay, we've gone over the rough ones, so this is just some additional revenue that came in on the Tennessee Healthcare Resiliency Program grant. So basically, this is year one budget. So there's the revenue coming in, and then at the bottom, you'll see where the expenditures are being earmarked for, or actually cost center. That's $25,871.83.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve amendment number 29 for the Healthcare Resiliency Program grant?
I'll make a motion with those.
Okay, Mr. Bryson makes the motion, a second.
I'll second.
Dr. Lovingood seconds. Any discussion or questions? Call the roll.
Rachel Goins,
Yes.
Vicky Beatty,
Yes.
Ted Bryson,
Yes.
Dr. Jeff Lovingood,
Yes.
Nancy Kaysen,
Yes.
Josh Taylor,
Yes.
6 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Okay, amendment number 30.
Okay, amendment number 30 is where we have actually got two different things. We've got preschool grant that is now currently going on at Park View. And so that is where that revenue is being amended in. The one underneath that, the $6,613 is our special ed high cost. And that basically runs a year behind. We file it current year, but we won't get that money until the following year. So actually this was kind of what happened, was now getting that revenue in. So we're amending both of those in, and you can see it's going to be spent exactly for special ed.
Okay, do I have a motion to transfer funds to 71,200 and 72,220 for reimbursement of high-cost expenditures in the special education preschool grant?
Make a motion.
I'll make a
Motion.
motion.
Okay, Ms. Goins makes the motion, Mr. Bryson
Second.
seconds the motion.
Fine.
Any discussion? Questions? Could you call the roll?
Dr. Jeff Lovingood,
Yes.
Ted Bryson,
Yes.
Rachel Goins.
Yes.
Vicky Beatty,
Yes.
Josh Taylor,
Yes.
Nancy Kaysen,
Yes.
6 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Okay, amendment number 31.
Okay. Amendment 31 is basically the flip side of amendments 26 and 28, because whatever we took out of 141, we also have to amend into 177. So if you look at the first line on contributions and gifts, that's really the only thing that has not already been amended out of 141. And that's because that is actually contributions we've received that was earmarked for that. So if you see the $5,000 and the 156, 266, all of that was designated for the PI Center, one way or another. So you can see that it's been cost centered there. But then when you look underneath that, under the 49,800, that will coincide with amendments 26 and 28, where we just took it out of one fund, we're moving it over to the other fund, okay? But as far as what we're gonna be spending it on, you can see down below. You can see the OMS, CDC wing, you see that cost center there, and the S wing, that's your science wing at Bradley Central. So you can hopefully easily follow where all that money is going, back and forth.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve amendment number 31 for new revenue from donations and transfers from 141 for the CDC suite at Ocoee Middle School and the science wing at Bradley Central?
I make a motion to approve.
I second.
Okay, I have a motion, a second, any discussion? Miranda, would you call the roll?
Dr. Jeff Lovingood,
Yes.
Vicky Beatty,
Yes.
Nancy Kason,
Yes.
Josh Taylor,
Yes.
Rachel Goins.
Yes.
Ted Bryson,
Yes.
6 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Thank you, Ms. Wilco.
Thank you very much.
No, we'll do it. Okay, our next item of business is to request to grant authority to the Director of Schools to approach the County Commission for funding on Phase 1 of Hopewell addition and high school tracks. Dr. Cash.
So as we discussed in our meeting, our retreat actually, we had a lot of things happening that needed funding, and with the board being wise in their saving and spending, there are many things that we are taking care of ourselves. This just allows me to go to the county commission to request funding, and of course I request and they take it from there on those two projects. Tracks, meaning both Bradley and Walker Valley.
Are you gonna ask them for money for both, and we're not gonna take it out of anything?
Yes, sir. Those would both be, we are taking on the science wing. We are
Right.
taking on a couple of other projects, including OMS. So this is just requesting those funding from them.
I think it's great.
Do I have a motion to grant authority to the Director of Schools to confer with the County Commission for funding of Hopewell and high school tracks?
I make a motion.
Okay, Dr. Lovingood makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Bryson seconds. Any more discussion or questions? Miranda, will you call the roll?
Yes. Ted Bryson,
Yes.
Rachel Goins.
Yes.
Nancy Kason,
Yes.
Josh Taylor,
Yes.
Vicky Beatty,
Yes.
Dr. Jeff Lovingood,
Yes.
6 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Our next item, architect recommendation for Ocoee Middle School addition, Corbett Drew.
I make. Go ahead. I'll call it.
Thank you. We solicited RFQ. We did an RFQ, request for qualifications. We reviewed, spoke with 4 different architectural firms, and are making the recommendation tonight to move forward with Cope Architects, and would ask your permission to negotiate a contract and engage Cope Architects to be the designer architect of record for the expansion of Ocoee Middle School.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve Cope Architecture for Ocoee Middle School?
I'll make a motion, we approve Cope for Ocoee.
Mr. Bryson made the motion, a second.
Second.
Ms. Kaysen seconds. Any discussion?
Can I ask,
Sure.
would you like to talk about any of the process of bidding and how we look at stuff, just to make
Certainly.
sure?
First of all, we don't bid professional services.
Yes, sir. So just the process.
With architects and engineers, they're specifically not allowed to bid.
Right.
But we request qualifications. We look at comparable work that they've done. So we look at the body of work, the personnel that's specifically going to be assigned. We look at other major contracts that they have engaged at the moment to see availability, to make sure we're not getting pushed to the back of the line and we're going to have to wait 10 months. We look at a host of different factors like that, and we actually spend time with them, and in some cases we actually go look at other projects that they've designed. We've been able to do that. with the RFQ process, it was an invited list. We've spent time and let's say getting to know 4 different firms, 2 of which have already done work for the district, and 2 of which have not. Excuse me. Over the course of that, you realize that not every hammer is correct for every nail. In this case, Cope already has there are a couple of complicating factors with the expansion at Ocoee Middle. And Cope already has institutional knowledge, and they already have an understanding of the existing conditions at Ocoee, which is going to expedite the process. And so that was imminent in the consideration.
Dr. Cash, I just think it's just wise, because I think it's pretty neat, the due diligence that they have gone through for this process, and I think the community needs to know how the effort and the processes y'all went through to make sure we're all done well to come up with this direction. So I just wanted everybody to hear that.
Thank you, Dr. Levy.
Mr. Price?
You do look like Cope has done a lot of, or any other group that comes in, if they've done work for us and if we're satisfied with it. Like,
If you're dissatisfied.
yeah, if they've done work for us. But no, they've done a lot of work for us. Cope has done a lot of work.
They have. They have done a lot of work and more than satisfactory in their performance. And that does have bearing. If you were dissatisfied with any particular firm, I wouldn't in good conscience come here and stand in front of you and recommend that.
Any other questions?
Not on purpose.
Okay. As long as it's not on purpose.
Right.
Miranda, will you call the roll?
Yes, Dr. Jeff Lovingood,
Yes.
Vicky Beatty.
Yes.
Josh Taylor.
Yes.
Nancy Kaysen.
Yes.
Rachel Goins.
Yes.
Ted Bryson.
Yes.
6 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
if the board would allow, I really would like for Cope to come up and give us just a little introduction of what they think that will look like, and just make sure that we're all knowing where we're going. Hopefully a possible timeline, maybe.
Sure. Yeah, we were just talking about that before we came over here. They were looking at the whole picture and what everything's starting to look like. I know there's a lot of ambitious things, and just without knowing any recommendation or anything like that, so I'll make that clear. However, that is such a complicated little project. It's the last place that you can shoehorn any kind of addition to that facility. So we were looking at about 4 months worth of design to get that out, and thinking, working backwards, I think it was about 8 months worth of construction, 6 to 8 months worth of construction, and 2 months for bidding and getting permitting and those kind of things. So it's about a 12 to 16 month process, kind of getting started by the time you get something constructed. If that's what you're asking,
Yes,
I can get into some specifics if you want.
That's what I was looking for.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's a lot of pitfalls and egress challenges and just staging. It's going to be a tough little project for sure. So looking forward to it, and we certainly appreciate the vote of confidence. And thank you again.
Thank you.
We'll keep it above satisfactory.
Thank you.
And in budget?
Under would be great.
Yeah, well, we know we have to work with, so we have some flexibility. If the addition's more, then the renovations, kind of get.
You can't do a lot with steel prices, can you?
Well, I will say they're getting a lot better than what they were, particularly with lead times and time. It's a big difference from where we had
They
it.
do.
Things are finally getting back to semi-goal.
That's good enough. Thank you.
Thank you all again.
The next business item, special education bus purchase, Terry McElhaney.
I am excited to come to you today because we have an opportunity to purchase a brand new special ed bus from Mid-South, it's a 2024 Minitor. What you don't know is there is a severe supply chain backup when it comes to special ed buses. We're about a year and a half out we are short on some special ed buses, so this would be a great opportunity for us to purchase this bus. I've spoken with the business office, and we have allocated, they've got funds available to purchase this bus. I recommend and ask that this board would also recommend that we go ahead and purchase this bus. It is built, it is sitting on the lot, and we can have it once the paperwork's done, hopefully within the next month, and be able to have it with our kids. What's unique about this bus that's coming in, it is a little bit heavier chassis, but I'll be able to carry 5 wheelchair kids on that. We can carry 16 kids sitting to a seat, so we're excited about that, and we're excited about it being available for us to purchase.
And it does take time to get these buses, but it seems to take more time now for some reason.
We ordered some back in August, and we won't see those until next January, maybe late January. So we just need to continue building our fleet.
Well, this bus, and you might have said it and I didn't pay attention, hold handicapped people.
That's what it's designed for.
That's what I mean.
Yep, yes, sir.
It'll still hold 16?
Yes, sir.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. 17 if you count the driver.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the special education bus purchase?
I'll make a motion to approve the special education bus purchase.
Mr. Taylor makes a motion, a second.
Go ahead, Rachel.
Ms. Golan seconds the motion. Any further discussion? Miranda, would you call the roll?
Yes, Vicky Beatty,
Yes.
Nancy Kason.
Yes.
Josh Taylor,
Yes.
Ted Bryson,
Yes.
Rachel Goins.
Yes.
Dr. Jeff Lovingood.
Yes.
6 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you
McNeil.
so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Our next item, recordation tax letter, Nancy Kason.
Yes, ma'am, and I hope my voice will hold up for this. Recordation is every time there's a title or a deed that is recorded in Bradley County, a fee has to be paid, and so that fee goes to the state. And what the state does with it after it gets there, we don't know. So what we'd like to do is see if we can get some of that money back into Bradley County. So I hope I'm saying his name right, Kopecki? Sapicki. The Bradley County Board of Education commends your dedicated efforts to address the educational needs of expanding Tennessee counties. In response to the pressing situation, we recently established the Population Trends Ad Hoc Committee to conduct a comprehensive capacity study. The findings reveal that Bradley County's growth significantly surpasses the state average of 2%, placing the majority of our schools at or above their designated capacity. This unprecedented growth is detrimentally impacting our educational institutions. Recognizing the urgency of this situation, we express our wholehearted support for House Bill number 1629. This proposes legislation crucially provided the essential funding that rapidly growing counties require for school capital projects. By allocating half of the unencumbered revenue from the recordation tax to counties for school debt and capital projects, House Bill 1629 addresses a vital need. The Bradley County Commission unanimously voted in favor of supporting this bill, and we are fully prepared to collaborate with you to ensure its successful passage. We, the Bradley County School Board, are also unanimously supporting House Bill 1629. We firmly believe that reviling the financial burden on our tax base is paramount, especially as our community embarks on the new era of growth and prosperity. Your tireless commitment to exploring diverse avenues to address this challenge is sincerely appreciated. We trust that with your leadership we can achieve the common goal of providing the best possible educational opportunities for our students. Thank you for your unwavering dedication to our community's education and well-being. And we will sign this letter. If this passes, we will sign this letter. This is up there at the end of the meeting today.
Thank you, Ms. Kason. Do I have a motion to approve the letter of support for House Bill 1629?
I'll make a motion to approve the letter of support for House Bill 1629.
Mr. Taylor makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Dr. Lovinggood seconds the motion. Would you call the roll, Miranda?
Nancy Kason.
Yes.
Josh Taylor.
Yes.
Ted Bryson.
Yes.
Rachel Goins.
Yes.
Dr. Jeff Lovingood.
Yes.
Vicky Beatty.
Yes.
6 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Our next item is policy review. I will be presenting this for Amanda Lee. It is to approve policy 2.809. Basically, it's editing the last paragraph of that policy, and it's referring to Valentine's Day deliveries. We had them before between 9 and 12, and we're changing that, or requesting to change that, to time specified by the principal. And Dr. Cash, do you have anything you'd like to add to that?
Thank you. We felt like when we lock in a time span that we are locking in our schools when they maybe have different planning times or different delivery times that work for their schedules. So in changing this, it still allows those deliveries too, but the high schools may have one set of times and the elementary may be a little bit different. So it just allows them to work with a different schedule. But we would most definitely ask that they choose a common time between secondary schools and the elementary schools to make it easier for our deliveries. And it is the most
Yes, it is.
interesting day to have all those deliveries show up, and but that also shows you that our students are loved and taken care of. So that's the purpose of this, is to give a little more options for our schools to make those decisions.
Do I have a motion to approve policy 2.809?
I make a motion we approve it, and I think this is very important to our businesses, and I think
It is.
there's some people wanting to do away with it, I'm sure, but I'm telling you, it's a good thing, and I think for our businesses' sake, we ought to continue, and I'm for it.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Bryson, a second.
Second.
Ms. Kaysen provides the second. Any further discussion or questions? Miranda, will you call the roll?
Yes, Josh Taylor.
Yes.
Ted Bryson.
Yes.
Dr. Jeff Lovingood.
Yes.
Nancy Kason.
Yes.
Vicky Beatty.
Yes.
Rachel Goins.
Yes.
6 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Our next item, announcements. Dr. Cash.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. For this board, you know that we have had a change in our safety director, so I would like to introduce you to Zach Pike. And Mr. Pike, if you would come up and just address the board. He's doing wonderful things. I think my first big phone call was, I have a fire near a school. Could you run out there for me?
Well, I'm very excited to be here. My first month has been great. My first week, not so much. My third day, my son broke his arm at the Parkview Playground where he goes to school. But that's okay. He's in his third week. He's doing great. I think he was about a week behind Dr. Cash, but they're both doing well. So I just want to say I'm a product of Bradley County Schools. I attended Oak Grove Elementary, Bradley Junior High. Just before Mr. Bryson, Roger Rose, principal there, but just before, I believe. Bradley Junior High School, and I attended Charleston High School. I was the second to the last graduating class. My wife is currently a teacher at Parkview. Both my boys go there. One's in kindergarten and third grade. I'm very connected here, and I want to continue to invest in Bradley County Schools. I came from the sheriff's office after more than 20 years. I'm very excited to be here. Everybody's been positive, and you know, the focus on school safety and security has never been clearer. And I want to continue to work with each of the administrators, the board, Dr. Cash, to continue to provide that level of safety for a safe environment for teaching and learning. And I look forward to working with all of you in the future.
I would like to say welcome, and it is an extremely important position, and I know everyone on this board is very concerned about safety, and we appreciate you being here and your support.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Cash.
Glad to have you on board.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item will be announcements, and I have several of these, so bear with me. But first of all, I would like to say congratulations to our candidates who won in the primary. We have Nancy Kaysen, Teddy Bryson, Rachel Goins, and Dr. Jeff Lovingood. Congratulations. Now I'll go with the regular announcements. March the 11th through the 15th, schools will be closed, spring break. March the 29th, the schools closed, Good Friday. April the 1st, schools closed, Parent-Teacher Conference Day. April the 5th, Make a Change Day. Dr. Cash, would you talk a little bit about Make a Change Day for people that do not know?
Yes. So several years ago, I think maybe 4, I asked our schools to give back to the community. And so one of our biggest supporters is the Sack Pack program, and that feeds our kids on the weekends. And so our schools decided with Steve's leadership from Prospect, Montgomery, we started to Make a Change Day, which means we have one day where we bring in change from every household, and we work with the community, and in that vein, we turn that money over to the United Way. The United Way reallocates it to support the Sack Pack program, and I wish Steve was here, but I think over the last 4 years, we are well above the, and I'm just going to say year by year. I know that each year we are raising about $20,000 plus to turn back over to help families in our community. So it is something that has become part of our culture, is to, we don't want to always be the ones asking for things. We also want to be able to give back. So our families are amazing. Our students, most amazingly, will sometimes bring in their piggy banks and everything and dump it out. It's really about a culture of, we're blessed to be here, how can we give back? So we appreciate everybody contributing to that. So again, and if anybody in this room wants to contribute, we will be more than glad to deliver that to be sure that we are feeding our families on the weekends.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
The next item which was added, I think, did you say April the 8th for the abbreviated day?
Yes.
Okay, in light of partial solar eclipse, April the 8th, an abbreviated day. April the 11th is the next regular board meeting with the new start time, Dr. Lovingood, of 5:00 p.m. But we sincerely appreciate your promptness and being early today. Thank you.
It's a privilege. I get to spend some time with Ms. Karen, so it was good.
Thank you very much. Okay, and also, I think I would be remiss if I did not mention Lake Forest Revolution. I know it's been mentioned twice tonight, but this is their final performance at 8:00, Christ Way Church in Ooltewah, Tennessee, and certainly a huge congratulations to Lake Forest Revolution. And I think, does anyone have any other announcements?
I just have one more announcement, actually a comment. Our central office staff and all of our principals had a job fair that was exceptionally received, and we were very excited to see opportunities for new employees coming in, and we had everyone in attendance, and I believe we had lines standing everywhere. So our reputation precedes us with we're a wonderful place to work. So I just wanted you guys to know that was a very, very great success.
Thank you. Our next item, agenda items for the next meeting, for the April meeting. Anything anyone would like to add? Hearing none,